Welcome, horror fans. We are here today with Boudreaux Partita and Joseph Fontinos to talk about our new short film, BeWere. It's a great little film about werewolves and preppies, which we always love to see everything about. So
it's like the worst role-playing game ever. Werewolves and preppies. That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Boudreaux, why don't you give us a little heads up on what the movie's really about?
Sure. It's a short that deals with a preppy college kid and his friend that seek out the supernatural powers of a werewolf. They visit this elder werewolf who is played by Joseph Fontinos.
Not that old,
but on film he is. And they basically, they're trying to gain the powers of a werewolf in exchange for cash. They screw the werewolf over, and it's kind of basically the consequences of what happens after that. So that's kind of in a nutshell what this film is about.
This is by a great female writer. She's an award winner. She's done a lot of TED Talks, been on NPR. Joy Lind, you want to tell us a little bit about Joy Lind?
Yeah, Joy's great. She's one of those creative minds that you like listening to. She takes things in a different direction than you would ordinarily think of.
She has done numerous projects, numerous films, numerous plays, tons of projects all over the place. She's a speaker at different conventions, TED Talks. I mean, she's done it all.
I know when I first got the script for this, I was very impressed with the idea of the consequences of the werewolf, but Joy's approach is based in science. So that's her thing, man. She's all about science. So she's done a series of talks, like you said, and scripts. And the original script, by the way, for BeWere was a part of a much bigger script of a universe of powers. Not just werewolves, but all kinds of powers. Superpowers, monsters, fairies, elves, whatever. But she told the story in terms of reality. What would happen if it was scientifically possible to have these things? And the consequences of it. Not to spoil our movie, because it's taken from her larger script. But as an example, if the Flash ran really, really fast and saved somebody who was falling, the sudden stop would jar their brain and kill them. And that's the kind of science approach she takes to these types of things. Like, it's fun to go, oh yeah, Superman would catch Lois Lane falling and would be good. But no, he would catch her and snap her back because she's falling at a velocity, and he catches her and he stops her from falling. That's the kind of thing she looks at. So,
not to mention, could you imagine the calorie intake you have to run that fast?
Well, yeah. But I mean, and that's her thing, man. She's all about science.
Yeah.
So when she did the werewolf thing, I said, well, I mean, I've seen lots of werewolf movies. You all have seen lots of werewolf movies. I've never seen anything quite like this, because it does take the approach of wolves, science, wolves, real wolves, people, put them together, what happens? What are the consequences of making that one into the other and then back again? And it was beyond exciting to be a part of that, because it's brand new.
And not only was because it's a horror film, but it's also a comedy. There's bits of comedy in it too, which is what I really, when she approached me with this project about 2 years ago, I was really, like I said, I have to do this. And so that right away, I knew that I wanted to do this. And it sat on the shelf for a little bit just because the timing wasn't right. But once the timing was right, we launched from full-scale pre-production. We just had a shoot date set. We had the actors lined up. We had everything. All the resources came together to really set forth and make this production happen very quickly. So it was kind of it was a great kind of project that she just kind of basically brought to our laps and said, "Look, show me what you can do with this."
So before we go too much further, why don't you give us a little breakdown real quick of what this film is kind of about?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, I can do it.
Well, it's basically there's a preppy college kid that seeks out an elder werewolf to gain the powers of a werewolf.
I'm not that old.
Oh, well. Yeah. Joseph is our elder werewolf.
Not elderly, it's fine.
Joseph is our elder werewolf. Basically, the preppy college kid goes to the werewolf. He's seeking the powers in exchange for cash, screws over the elder werewolf, and now it's kind of, he's going to be turned into a werewolf, and a couple of freaky little things are happening. And basically, what are the consequences and what's going to happen to this kid and his friends once they become werewolves, and we'll see what happens to those.
All around.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
I think it's the lesson. Put the genie back in the bottle if you can.
Yeah.
Now I know you have a background in shorts, and you won a great award for your first short, or one of your best ones, which is High Penny. That included your daughter and your family, and that's awesome. So you want to tell us a little bit about that and your love of shorts?
Yeah, I mean, my background is in commercial production. I'm used to working on quicker schedules, quicker turnaround, lower budgets, and so that kind of translated really well into doing shorts, just because it is on a lower scale, quicker scale, quicker turnaround, and able to kind of turn it around fairly quickly. So my pride and joy, my very first horror film short was High Penny, and that is kind of like one of my proud pieces, because it does feature my daughter and my son and my wife, and it was just kind of a project that I put together over a weekend, basically. And within a week, it was fully cut and fully edited, and it's a final cut, and then posted online by the following week. And that really taught me a lot. But really, being a commercial producer for over 20 years has really taught me the ways of how to shoot quickly. And I know Joseph can attest to this too. But like, it's basically, what do I need to see to make me believe this is happening? You got the shot. Okay, we can move on. Okay, let's get this quick cut. Let's get this. Let's get that. Boom, we can move on. We don't need to dwell on it forever. So High Penny was a really good opportunity. It was a good learning opportunity for me, but it was also well received. And so it did win Best Horror Short at the San Antonio Horrific Film Fest last year. And since then, it's gotten a lot of good
you can still see it today.
And you can still see it today
On YouTube, right? It's still out there?
It's still out there. You search High Penny on
Definitely
YouTube.
saw it.
It's definitely one of those kind of little creepy stories that kind of involves creepy kids
Creepy
and stuff
kids.
like that. So,
Old Bob in there.
Well, tell us a little bit more about how this movie, or this little short, came into fruition.
Well, like I said, Joy approached me with this script a couple years ago, and then when we finally actually said, all right, she asked me, all right, do you want to move forward with this? Can we move forward with this? And I said, you know what? Let's do it. Very quickly, I reached out to Joseph, Joseph and I have known each other for a while, but we had never actually seen or gotten the opportunity to work together yet. And I know that, we're both horror friends, and we're both horror buddies, and we're both horror soulmates kind of thing, but we always wanted to work together. And this was finally the opportunity where I approached him and I said, hey, look, what do you think about doing the lead for this? And he said yes, pretty quickly.
Very instantly. I didn't even read the script. Boudreaux reached out and said, hey, I'm doing a project. Would you interest? Yes, I would. I didn't even read the script yet. I really didn't. Because I really wanted to work with you, because it's been, like I said, I've known you for years. You doing your thing, me doing my thing in the horror world, so it's kind of fun, to see what you're doing, and likewise, of course, with everything that I was doing. So this was an opportunity there's no way I'm passing it up. So yeah, very excited.
And then, so we cast Joseph, and then we also cast the other actors, and very quickly I was able to put together our effects team, who is comprised of Jenna Green and Taylor Haggard. Fantastic effects team. We were able to secure a location, which was all shot on the Evergreen Tree Farm in Elgin. So big shout out to them for letting us shoot on there. And we were able to put together an entire cast and crew just to make this project happen.
So tell us a little bit about your actors, other than our lovely Joseph here.
Want to speak to that?
The other actors, Logan Paul, who plays the lead opposite me, the kid who comes to get bit. He's very, very fresh, energetic, great guy. Did a lot of work on Fear the Walking Dead, and multiple zombies on Fear the Walking Dead.
Multiple kills.
On the same episode. You see Logan getting shot once and shot twice, and it's Logan getting shot. He is basically every zombie that you see.
Well, they do film out here, so it's great.
Yeah.
And this is all local Austin stuff.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
Joy is an Austin writer, or local Austinite. She's the writer.
Yeah.
Y'all both live in Austin. All great. That goes for us. So.
Yeah, Logan's a great, fresh young talent, and I'm really excited to. He kind of approached this. He approached this from a fresh, young perspective of not really knowing too much in the horror genre, which is kind of what I really liked, because he didn't have already set stigmas and set kind of bad habits of well, you know what, you should do this. And
I've seen the movie once.
Yeah. So he was able to he was really open to direction and suggestions, and open to basically what do you think would make this character great? Oh. So he was a really great young talent to work with. Ray Roberts, who plays a supporting lead, he was also a great, oh my God, energetic talent.
Willing to go fearless.
Yeah, absolutely
fearless.
He's one of those guys where he submitted his casting tape, and as soon as he submitted it, I was like, yes, this is the guy. Didn't have to go look keep looking. It was just one of those amazing kind of talents that you wish you had all the time. Yeah. And so I'm really excited to work up with both these guys and Joseph in the future with other projects. We also have a couple other little things here, surprises with as far as people. But overall, an amazing cast for this great flick.
And Logan texts me all the time asking for horror movie recommendations.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So
Yeah.
His mentoring in horror has started. So he's just like, I need a movie. It's like, all right, let's go to the 70s. We'll pick out some 70s stuff. Go.
Yeah, the other day he told me, he goes, I finally watched Day of the Dead.
Yeah,
I finally
Yes.
watched Creep Show.
Yes.
You know, like
Yes.
he
It's
does
always fun when you can go on there and be like, oh no, see, if you love this,
Yeah.
watch this.
Yeah.
And introducing people to just new stuff all the time.
And new/old stuff. I mean, frankly, as much as I love horror, new horror, I always support new horror. That's how we get stuff like this, and that's how we continue the genre. But going back in time, if you get someone who's fresh to it and go, well, give me a good horror movie. I'm like, oh, really? Oh, good. Okay, yeah, let's go. I mean, let's get some real.
And that's how we also inspire the writers and the directors going, oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make this.
Right.
And then you can, turn it into wonderful independent films.
We put together a Kickstarter campaign, and within a month, we're able to have it realized. And so it actually was a successful Kickstarter campaign, and we were able to raise the budget for this low-budget film.
And I hear there's a great band that actually created a song for this movie.
Yes. So one of the aspects about this is that I really wanted to close out this film with an old 80s hair metal kind of soundtrack for the credits, and I just thought, oh, that would be so cool. And then we actually held a calling for bands to submit, but then I ended up reaching out back to one of my old good buddies, Al Garza, who's a member of Allied Forces, and they're down in the Rio Grande Valley, and they put together an amazing, and Al Garza especially, he wrote this track especially for this film. He had a music that he had already written, but he rewrote it and retweaked it just for the movie, and now it's on the credits. It's called "BeWere the Night," is what he called the track, and a hint of it is in the trailer. That was just an amazing treat to put on top of this already amazing project, and it was just one of those. Oh man, it actually worked out. That's so cool.
Got music and everything.
Yeah.
My dad's got a barn. We'll make costumes and do a show. It's great. No, it works together.
I'm going to jump in real quick. I have a question I'd like you to ask you, because I think it's worth noting. Mm-hmm. Who are some of your horror influences as far as writers or directors?
I have always, no surprise to you, but I've always been a big fan of George Romero. Mm-hmm. I really love what he does with light and shadow. Yeah. I've always loved James Wan. Mm-hmm. I love his how he moves the camera. I love how he moves, and he creates suspense, and he creates tension, and it's cheap. That is, his jump scares aren't cheap. They actually really, really work. But I'm highly influenced, believe it or not, by the EC comics, and I love what Romero did with Creepshow, and I love the original comics, and I love those storytellers and Bill Gaines and all those writers and all those artists, and Gatsby Grim Ingalls, all those guys, because it was kind of like the comics were kind of already creating a storyboard. Yeah. The panels are in front of you. I've always just have loved those since I was a kid. I love the horror genre, and Night of the Living Dead was probably my very first film that I saw when I was 5. Mm-hmm. I remember my dad and I and my brother going to our local Sears and buying the VHS tape for 99 cents and watching it and rewatching it. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And it was a huge influence on me. And I love what Romero did with light and shadow. Yeah. And it's just, and if you look at High Penny, there's a lot of light and shadow, playing with natural light, which I'm a big fan of, playing with natural light when it comes to the camera. The other things I've done, Dead Man, and even now with BeWere, because we had some artificial lighting in the shoot, but we're dealing a lot with natural lighting and using that light to create tension, create the scares rather than just cheap jump scares kind of thing. So. Well, thank you for asking that question, Joseph.
I just wanted you to say Gatsby Grim Ingalls on the recording.
Oh yeah,
really did.
So this film is or the short is great for the gore hounds of us
Oh, yeah.
who just love our gore.
Absolutely. Jenna and Taylor did an amazing job doing the makeup. I mean, when we were sitting around on set and waiting for Joseph to come out of makeup, and you know, I was there with the guys and the crew, and then all of a sudden, and it's 1 a.m. or whatever it is, and then Joseph walks out, and the entire crew just like, whoa, and he's got the fangs and the eyes, and it's just it was amazing to see, you know, to see the transformation that Joseph went through to turn into this werewolf character of Oz. And but yeah, that being said, there's a bit of blood, and a little bit, but it all worked, and so it was fun to, like, you know, it would be cool if we just add this and do this, and all of a sudden this explodes and this, and then all of a sudden, you know, let's add a little bit more blood in there. Let's put a little bit more.
And it's an adventure. Filmmaking is an adventure.
Yeah.
There's certain things that you're on set and you're trying to, oh, this is how we envision this to be. Oh, right, that didn't work. We have to figure something else out. Well, let's do this. And sometimes it works out even better.
Yeah.
You know, and let's everyone cross your fingers and stand by and watch and make this works. And watching it all come together like that, and you know what I'm talking about specifically. I'm not going to spoil this, but there's one particular moment where you're just like, oh, yes, it worked, and holy moly, that's disgusting. These are the thoughts we like to have on films like this. Now, I've known Boudreaux like this for many years, and he mentioned the makeup. I love that. I love makeup. I love being in the makeup. It helps with, you know, character and things like that. I used to host horror movies on Fangoria TV, and here in Austin for about 10 years as Professor Griffin. Professor Griffin's Midnight Shadow Show was a television horror hosting program, like Elvira, but without the boobs.
They're much prettier.
Come on.
I know. That sells. I know. It sells. But it was a lot of fun. We did that for, like I said, 6 years here, and then another 4, I think, nationally on Fangoria. So we had a good run doing that. I'm also a filmmaker myself. I have a production house out of San Marcos called Broom Closet Studios with director Shane Scott. We did 2 features, The Legend of Ghost Wolf's Gold and The Magnificent Dead were 2 features that we did back in the early aughts, I think, and they're out there somewhere. But it was a lot of fun. Filmmaking is a process, and it's not just a one-man show. It's this great group of people that get together to make anything happen. So from the weekly show, the TV show that we used to do, to the features, it's an adventure. It's camaraderie. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, sitting around, you know, waiting and freezing or sweating or doing that, and it's like the trenches in war, man. You do it. Because we love it. Yeah, I mean, because we're not getting rich here. I mean, not yet. Anyway.
Yeah.
We have a Latino director. We have a female writer. I mean, I love the diversity of the cast and the diversity of, you know, making horror, and it's local, and this is the flair that we have, and this is what we need. We need more of that supported indie and bringing up those different voices and the different creativeness.
And I think that's important because all of us on the cast and crew, we all come from a different background. We all have different, you know, we all have different passions. We all have different likes, and we all have different situations. You know, we have families. We have some of us, you know, it's married, kids, you know, all different, but we all have the passion for this, just kind of film and just genre film. And it's just kind of like, hey, you know what's really cool? Just one scary flick. Well, you know what? I like that too. Hey, and you know what? I'd really like to do that. I like that. And then little by little, it was building a network of fellow fans, really. Yeah. That would say, well, I'd really like to be a part of that. Yeah. One of the guys on our crew, his name's Reese. I mean, that guy, he found out about High Penny, and he reached out to me and he was like, I just want to be a part of your next project, you know, just because I want to see what that's like. This one guy that's doing one of the V camera group, he lives in my neighborhood, and he wanted to kind of just, hey, I want to help out with, you know, if you need some help up with the camera work, I can help out doing this. And so he helped me shoot some second crew stuff, you know. So little things like that, just people just want to be involved, and I think that's what makes projects like this a worthwhile thing to do. Not only bringing people together. Because yes, the final product is important, but I think it's also like, I think it's making connections with other fans and the people that worked on it to say, hey, remember that night that we shot up until 3 a.m, you know, that kind of thing.
You're in the trenches, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's all part of the movie experience, movie making experience kind of thing. And I think that's what I want a lot of the crew members and the cast to bring out is remember those good times that, hey, you know, one time I made a werewolf movie, and they get to say that, at least. You know, I get to tell my kids, you know, my kids running around yelling "BeWere" in school. You know? So and I'm proud of that. I'm very proud of that. So it's you know, that's really what it's about.
Well, have you shopped this around to any festivals, cons? Do you have a premiere coming up soon?
We hope to have a premiere in October for this. There'll be more information about that going up on our fan page. But yeah, we definitely have some ins with the San Antonio Horror Film Festival. The new Houston Horror Film Festival is coming up that is being Troy Escamilla out of Houston is going to be hooking us up with that, hopefully. And then our, obviously a big target is that we hopefully get into South by Southwest 2020.
Yeah.
Definitely Texas Frightmare next year. A couple other Texas film festivals, horror film festivals that we're going to try to shop into. Down in the valley, down in the Rio Grande Valley, we're hoping to hopefully make an impact down there. We know that we're going to be doing some press down there pretty soon for this because a lot of people are interested. I mean, a lot of filmmakers, not just filmmakers, but a lot of horror fans are just wanting to come out and like say, whoa, like we really want to see this. What did you put together? And that's why, we're really excited to announce that, the trailer will be up and running and online on August 23rd. So hopefully by the time this comes out, this will actually be up online already. Yeah. We're trying to give everybody a glimpse of what we've been putting lots of hard work into. And not to make money, it's because we really like doing this.
You have a Facebook page and an Instagram page, all under the hashtag BeWere, under the name BeWere. Now it's BeWere. We gave away this fantastic poster earlier today, so y'all look forward to maybe even seeing if you can find yourself a BeWere merchandise. I'm sure that'll probably be on the website. And what's that website for us again?
Well, their main fan page is BeWere Film on Facebook. But our main website, which you'll find everything on, is going to be hornylikethewolf.com.
I'm sorry, did you say hornylikethewolf.com?
Horny, kind of like the song. Hornylikethewolf.com. That's where you're going to find all of that cool information. You're going to find a trailer. You're going to find information about our actors, our synopsis, all that good stuff. Also, big shout out to Chad Ballard, who designed our poster and T-shirts. He's also designed lots of the graphics that we've done. It's like I said, it's just been kind of a big collaborative effort to just let's make a cool werewolf film. Let's see what kind of cool shit we can put out there.
Well, and this is definitely great for supporting independent horror. To the local people, the local area. We have local makeup artists and the music and the artist. And of course, even at this house, we're going to give our shout out to Max Meehan for letting us use his wonderfully creative horror house with all his collections. And it's phenomenal. And I'm so glad the fans, helped you on Patreon. Kickstarter. Yeah. They helped you out on Kickstarter to get this started, and that's awesome, and that's what we need more of. We need
definitely a big shout out to our executive producers, Douglas and Tom. Douglas and Tom. They came in and they really helped contribute a big portion of the funding that we needed to make this project happen. Because we did. Obviously, this is a low budget film, but we wanted everybody to get just a little bit of cash just to make this worth their while. But also, the big thing is that everybody who's worked on this cast and crew gets to say, hey, I was a piece of that movie. Yeah. I was a piece of that project. Yeah. And then hopefully everybody has a good time, because for me, it's all about the cast and the crew having a good time and a good experience on this. Yes, the final film is important, but the actual of like, hey, remember that day that that night that we were out shooting until 3 a.m? That was a cool night because of this happened. One of the funny anecdotes that we had when we were shooting the film was that we were doing a couple pickup shots while this other camera rig was getting ready. And I wanted to get Joseph to shoot one line. It was just one single line. And every single time that we started rolling, we were shooting on a farm, and this train was just coming down. And you can hear in the distance, and this train whistle was just blowing off on every take. And it was literally like ready, action. And Joe started lining, I think we did about 13, 14, 15 takes of that. So
we call it the love train.
Yeah, exactly. So, and those are the kind of things that, you look back and you laugh, and you kind of say, that's how he said it's part of the filmmaking experience. And it's what brings us closer together as not just a cast and crew part of the story, but also closer as friends and individuals that just love this genre and love film.
And you're right about the genre love, and that's one thing that I really feel strongly about is new horror. You said it yourself, but the genre is it's indelible. We've had it, we love it, we know it. It's important. There's a lot of bad things in the world, and that's our escape. and it's creative, it's unique, it's important, and to support that kind of thing, to work on something like that, that's something new, something we can all get behind, and well, recognizable, it's still new, and there's still new ways to tell stories. That's important. Tell it in a great way. Let's quote Romero: find a good story, tell it that's a way that's entertaining viscerally. It's not a hard formula, but to do that, it's wonderful, and all the new creative stories that come out, I'm always really thrilled to see, and this was great. This is really unique.
I'm always excited to work with new projects and new aspects, because while I think Joseph and I kind of consider ourselves kind of like old school when it comes to certain horror ideas and horror thoughts, we're both fans of the old school slow zombies as opposed to the running zombies, things like that. But I think we're still open to new concepts, and that's why I think what made this project such a fresh idea, and why I was so excited to jump on it. And why I think it was a great collaboration with everybody, and I think everybody that was part of this project really worked. Everybody from the actors to the crew to everybody just clicked into their role, and I think and overall everybody had a good experience of doing it, and I think we're all really proud of it.
Yeah. The director was a real bastard.
I heard stories, just things.
It happens.
Well, is there anything else that y'all would like to share? Any great moments during the movie or during the the makeup that you had to go through?
It was, again, it wasn't. I enjoyed it. It was about an hour of makeup to get the character going. One thing I did enjoy about it, playing in Joy's universe of realistic science. There's some things about the werewolf legend that we all know and accept as fact. Full moons, silver, are they immortal? I mean, can they heal? What's their story? So I had to ask Joy some questions, because we're different. Whenever a writer creates that universe, it is that writer's universe. So you say, well, let me ask you this. Why did this happen? Why did you write this? In your mind, do you see this? I'm being very vague on purpose, but I have to ask these questions, because as an actor playing the role, I could approach it in two different ways, and I have to get the input. What were you seeing here? And if the director agrees with it, we're good. That's the thing. You want to make everyone happy, and as an actor, it's a thrill to work with somebody that I respect and I like, because I want to do my best to make him happy. If I see him smile and I see him he gets excited, I think, okay, we're doing the right thing here. I'm going to stay with this and do it like that. And the same thing with Joy. She loved it. She was on set doing most of the shoot, and she was watching it. And it's neat to see your creations come to life. It's neat to see what you wrote.
Is there something that you related to with your character, or was he a complete opposite?
No,
of
he's
what you were?
Talk about bastards.
I think he's got a wicked sense of humor, because he is what he is, and he knows what he is, so he can afford to be a little pith when it comes to the world around him. There's a lot of that. There's a lot to that character that, as an actor, you put in. It doesn't make it onto the screen, but you put it in because you want to work that internally, and it comes out. I hope that there's a wisdom to this character, that he's been around for a while. And I like the idea that this guy's trying to say, "Look, kid, come on, I know what I'm talking about here. That's my thing. That's what I do." But lessons learned.
And then also the thing is, from my perspective, from a director's perspective, because my job is basically, I'm the storyteller. It's my job to tell this story, and I choose how that efficiently happens. From a director's standpoint, from my standpoint, these guys, Joseph, his performance is so off the wall, and Logan is so energized, because he's trying to match Joseph's performance. So really, I didn't have to do a ton of directing. I mainly let these guys kind of loose a little bit. So they kind of basically just showed me, and it was my job to basically just kind of capture that on camera and choose, okay, well, that's kind of what I wanted to see. Let me see if we can do that again. And then, so I didn't give a ton of direction, because I wanted to basically, let me feel it out. Let me see what they got. And Joseph, when we started rolling and he goes into the Oz character, it's kind of like, you're like, whoa, like, wow, that's pretty awesome. And so it's kind of one of those kind of really kind of insightful things that you don't really see a lot of, because at that point you're just kind of structuring the story, and you're just kind of saying, okay, I'm going to use that line, I'm going to use that line for this performance, and this take, because I know exactly, as the director and also the editor, I'm already putting this together in my head while we're shooting. Yeah. So it's very advantageous to shoot these kind of caliber performances, and I think it really translates on screen. for the audience.
Well, let's do one more shout out to your Facebook page,
Yeah.
your Instagram, and the website one more time.
Sure. So the website is hornylikethewolf.com. Look up our fan page on Facebook as BeWere Film. And then for Instagram, you can just look up my personal one, which is BeWere Partita. But that's where I mainly use it for a lot of the BeWere Film stuff. But yeah, that's mainly
So if we want a hashtag on our Instagram, we just hashtag BeWere. That's BeWere Films.
Yeah.
So and then that way we can look it all up. And the trailer hits on August 23rd. We have the website coming up. We have the trailer coming up, and we'll on Austin Horror Society as well as on y'all's page. We'll let y'all know if it ever hits any cons, when y'all are going to do your premiere, any festivals that we may be going around to, or that y'all may be going around to. Any of the horror members, their comments and questions, I'm sure y'all can answer online.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And keep up with that. And thank you for joining us today, and thank you, gentlemen, for coming, bringing us this wonderful independent art. I solely believe in supporting independent horror. That's where we need to be in this world, and thank you for doing that for us. If y'all have any questions, please put it in the comments below. Thank you for liking and sharing, and we'll see y'all in the next interview.